John L. Sullivan, a name that resonates with grit and glory, stands as a towering figure in the history of sports. Known as the Boston Strong Boy, he was the last great bare-knuckle boxing champion and the first true sports celebrity in America. With his unmatched ferocity in the ring and larger-than-life personality, Sullivan became a living legend. On February 7, 1882, under the cover of darkness, a special train left New Orleans carrying over 1,000 passengers. Among them were boxing fans, gamblers, and notable figures like playwright Oscar Wilde, and, as rumor had it, the infamous outlaw Jesse James, traveling incognito. The destination? Unknown, even to those aboard. The secrecy was critical as bare-knuckle boxing was illegal, and organizers wanted to avoid law enforcement interference. The crowd only knew they were heading somewhere within 200 miles of New Orleans to witness one of the most anticipated fights of the era. The train's journey ended in Mississippi City, a small Gulf Coast town chosen for its secluded location. At the Barnes Hotel, under the shade of sprawling oak trees, a makeshift arena awaited the eager crowd. Spectators paid between $1 and $5 for a closer view, while wealthier attendees, including women, allowed for the first time, watched from the hotel balcony. Some fans even climbed into the oak trees for a better vantage point. Despite its illegality, local law enforcement turned a blind eye to the event, unwilling to confront the massive and energized crowd. The reigning champion, Paddy Ryan, was a seasoned fighter known for his toughness and endurance. He had earned his title in 1880 after an 87-round battle against Joe Goss, a fight so brutal that both men were unrecognizable by the end. But Ryan, now past his prime, faced a formidable challenger in 23-year-old John L. Sullivan, whose reputation for raw power and relentless aggression had already begun to spread. This fight symbolized a clash of eras, Ryan representing the old guard of bare-knuckle boxing versus Sullivan, who brought a more explosive and modern style to the sport. As the opening bell rang, Sullivan wasted no time. Unlike the drawn-out battles typical of the era, he charged at Ryan with relentless energy. In the very first round, Sullivan's thunderous right hand sent Ryan to the ground. Under bare-knuckle rules, a round ended when one fighter was knocked down, and Ryan's repeated trips to the canvas allowed Sullivan to dominate early. Ryan fought back valiantly, even staggering Sullivan briefly in the fifth round, but the younger fighter's strength and determination were too much. By the seventh round, Ryan was a bloodied mess, his face swollen and his body battered. In contrast, Sullivan remained mostly unscathed, his aggressive style keeping Ryan on the defensive. The end came in the ninth round when Sullivan delivered a devastating knockout punch, leaving Ryan sprawled on the ground and unable to continue. The crowd erupted in cheers as Sullivan was declared the winner. The match, which lasted only 26 minutes, introduced the term knockout to describe such a decisive victory. Sullivan's win earned him a $5,000 prize and solidified his position as the new American champion. This fight wasn't just a victory for Sullivan, it marked a turning point in boxing history. His explosive, aggressive style ushered in a new era for the sport and cemented his reputation as a crowd-drawing sensation. Following this victory, Sullivan's fame skyrocketed. He began touring the country, challenging anyone brave enough to step into the ring with him. These exhibition matches showcased his ferocity and charisma, making him a household name. Known for his brash confidence, Sullivan famously declared he could lick any man in the world. This bold proclamation only added to his mystique, turning him into a cultural icon. Fans flocked to see the Boston Strong Boy, whose dominance in the ring symbolized the rugged, hardworking spirit of the time. But with fame came temptation. Sullivan indulged heavily in alcohol, food, and leisure, leading to significant weight gain and a decline in discipline. Despite these issues, his larger-than-life persona kept audiences captivated. Promoters eagerly booked him for matches, knowing his name alone could draw massive crowds. However, his lack of rigorous training began to catch up with him as younger, more disciplined fighters emerged. Sullivan's most grueling test came in 1889 against Jake Kilrain. This fight, held in Richburg, Mississippi, would become the last bare-knuckle championship in U.S. history. The bout lasted an astonishing 75 rounds over 2 hours and 16 minutes. Despite the sweltering heat and his own physical struggles, Sullivan's relentless determination saw him emerge victorious once again. Kilrain's corner was forced to concede, marking the end of an era and solidifying Sullivan's legacy as the last great bare-knuckle champion. By the early 1890s, the bare-knuckle era gave way to gloved boxing under the Marquis of Queensberry rules. Sullivan faced his final major fight in 1892 against gentleman Jim Corbett, a younger, more technically skilled opponent. Corbett's speed and precision overwhelmed the aging champion, who was knocked out in the 21st round. Afterward, Sullivan humbly acknowledged the end of his reign, saying, "I came to the ring once too often." In retirement, Sullivan transitioned to a life of public appearances and theatrical performances, recounting stories from his legendary career. Though his health and finances declined due to years of overindulgence, he eventually turned his life around, giving up alcohol and advocating for temperance. Sullivan passed away in 1918 at the age of 59, leaving behind a legacy as a pioneer of modern boxing and America's first sports superstar. John L. Sullivan's life story is one of triumph and excess, resilience and indulgence. He bridged the brutal bare-knuckle era and the structured world of gloved boxing, inspiring generations of fighters and captivating a nation. While his flaws serve as a cautionary tale, his achievements cemented his place in history as a larger-than-life figure who redefined the sport and became a symbol of the American spirit.